My girlfriend is pregnant and craved crayfish from a restaurant. When I went to buy it for her, I unexpectedly found her at a class reunion with her first love while she was supposed to be resting for the pregnancy. Her classmates chimed in with congratulations. The golden couple from our school is having a baby. Congrats. They held hands tightly, beaming with happiness. I pushed open the private room door and sneered. Remember to invite me to the full moon banquet. Then I turned to leave, but my girlfriend panicked. What wonderful news. After all these years, our golden couple is going to be parents, Daphne said with a radiant smile. Another classmate took her hand and asked, Pregnancy must be tough, right? Daphne blushed and glanced shyly at the man beside her. It's not too bad. Ethan takes good care of me. Even if it's hard, it's sweet. My heart clenched involuntarily. Daphne had never shown such tenderness towards me. Ethan smiled and gently stroked Daphne's belly. It's what I should do. I'm also very happy. The warm scene drew envious looks for the classmates. It was a perfect picture of a woman happily married to the love of her life. Standing outside the private room, I felt mixed emotions and almost laughed at the absurdity. This man was Daphne's first love. They dated in college, but broke up for unknown reasons after graduation. Daphne had promised me they were done. So this was what she meant by no ties left. They'd already sown the seeds and reaped the fruits just because she casually mentioned wanting crayfish a few days ago. I'm allergic and can't eat them. I traveled far to buy them. Who knew I'd witness such a show? I couldn't stand it anymore and pushed open the door. I clapped twice by the door and threw the crayfish I bought for her into the trash. Congratulations. What an enviable love story. The smile froze on Daphne's face when she saw me. Gabriel, why are you here? The harmonious atmosphere turned tense because of my sudden arrival. Is there a problem? Shouldn't I be here? My girlfriend gave me such a huge green hat, meaning she cheated on me. Shouldn't I come and see? I squinted and asked. Her classmates began to whisper in confusion. What's going on? I'm confused. Aren't Daphne and Ethan a couple? Then why does this man say she's his girlfriend? The whispers made Daphne blush with embarrassment. She avoided my gaze, too guilty to respond. Ethan stepped in front of Daphne to shield her. If you have any grievances, come at me. It's my fault for pestering her. This hero saving the beauty act made me want to vomit. Sensing the tension, a waiter cautiously asked, Sir, do you know them? If not, please don't disturb the guests. Before I could speak, Daphne interrupted, We don't know him. Please ask him to leave. I was shocked, staring at Daphne in disbelief. My heart ached as if someone had squeezed it. That she would say she didn't know me hurt more than finding out she pretended to be Ethan's wife at the reunion. I clenched my fists and forced a bitter smile. Daphne, you're really something. I didn't say more and turned to leave. I admit I was impulsive, but she should have chased after me to explain. Maybe I'd misunderstood, but she didn't. She stayed with Ethan, happily accepting congratulations. She let me keep misunderstanding. Furious, I went home and took a cold shower to calm down. Late at night, Daphne finally came back. She coldly threw a big bag of vitamins on the sofa, then went to the bathroom to remove her makeup, ignoring me sitting on the sofa. Gabriel, my face cream is finished, she complained from the bathroom. Since she got pregnant, I'd taken care of all housework, fearing she'd get tired, even carefully choosing her hair ties. When I didn't respond, she peeked out from the door. Gabriel, are you deaf? Can't you hear me? Daphne, aren't you going to explain what happened today? What's there to explain? You saw it. I met classmates while shopping and joined a reunion temporarily. I was afraid something might happen to the baby, so asked Ethan to accompany me. The classmates mistook him for my husband. What was I supposed to do? Tell them I asked someone else's husband to come? How embarrassing. I stared at her in disbelief. You were worried about the baby, but why didn't you tell me first? I'm your boyfriend, I retorted. Gabriel, don't be so petty. Okay, you're so busy at work. How many times have I couldn't reach you? I contacted Ethan because I was worried about the baby. We're just friends. He's not single. Stop overthinking. It's just a class reunion, not something shameful. Who are you scowling at? I tried to say more, but her face darkened. Fine. I won't go to class reunions anymore. Are you happy now? She slammed the door to the bedroom, leaving me feeling as disgusted as if I'd swallowed a fly. After the argument, I looked like the unreasonable one. It was as if I should turn a blind eye and swallow my anger because she'd forgiven me. My heart felt as if she'd stabbed it hard. How did things come to this? I'd always indulged Daphne, thinking it was natural for a guy to be more tolerant in a relationship. But somewhere along the way, our relationship became one-sided, with me constantly giving in. Even when she was wrong, if I didn't go along, she'd start a cold war until I apologized and coaxed her. Every time, I'd comfort myself that this was how our relationship could last. Sometimes I felt like Daphne's dog, coming when called and leaving when dismissed. When she smiled, I wanted to wag my tail for her. Just now, even though she was in the wrong, I still tensed up when she got angry. This wasn't a healthy relationship between normal couples. I suddenly realized that maybe I'd been too obedient to her, and she had grown so accustomed to it that she took my efforts for granted. A heavy weight seemed to press on my heart, so I decided to go for a run, hoping the north wind would blow away the chaotic thoughts in my head. Just then, my phone screen lit up with a message. Daphne loves me. You'd better quit while you're ahead and stop pestering her. My gut told me the sender was most likely Ethan. Feeling unwilling and angry, I replied, "Where do you get the confidence to say that? If she didn't care about me, why would she have stayed with me so long?" After a moment's hesitation, I added, "Besides, the baby in her belly is mine." I knew Daphne had a strong personality. She came from a strict family and had her own principles. In 3 years, we've been inseparable, and apart from Ethan, I'd never seen her get close to any other man. That's rich. Save that lie for strangers. Don't fool yourself. If she really loved you, why would she refuse to marry you after 3 years of dating? I bet every time you brought up marriage, she changed the subject. Let me be honest, she's already promised me she'll only marry me in this life. I froze as if struck by lightning. His words held truth. In 3 years, I proposed twice, and each time she gently declined. The first time, she said softly, "Gabriel, let me think a little longer. We'll be together forever anyway. There's no rush." The second time, she looked at me seriously. "Gabriel, our financial foundation isn't strong enough for marriage and kids yet. Let's wait a bit." So, the topic of marriage was shelved until her unexpected pregnancy. I saw the baby as a gift from heaven, a sign that it was time to enter marriage and complete our relationship. Worried she'd think a wedding dress wouldn't look good with a big belly, I was planning a third proposal to hold the wedding soon. I never expected such a thing to happen halfway. I clenched the engagement ring in my hand, its sharp diamond digging into my palm, aching all the way to my heart. If you still don't believe me, I'll file for divorce from my ex-wife tomorrow. Then I'll ask Daphne to join me. Let's see if she comes. I silently turned off the screen, calmed my emotions, and turned to enter the bedroom. I plastered on a fake smile for Daphne and purred ingratiatingly. "Baby, I acted like a hothead today. I never should have doubted you. I was just mad at the time. From now on, I'll be by your side no matter what. Don't be angry anymore. Mood swings during pregnancy are bad for your health." Daphne crossed her arms, snorted softly, and turned her head, her expression still showing displeasure. I stepped forward to massage her shoulders. "Let's go back home tomorrow. My mom's been in the hospital recently. We should visit her." Daphne always showed respect to elders. Her attitude softened slightly at this. "Are the tickets booked? When are we leaving? Should we buy gifts now in case we run out of time tomorrow?" I smiled faintly. "It's okay. There are plenty of shops near the hospital. We can buy them tomorrow." The flight was scheduled for 2 p.m. since we'd stay for a few days. Daphne quickly started packing. Suddenly, her phone rang. I glanced at it. It was an unknown number, but Daphne tensed up. She didn't use speakerphone, so I couldn't hear the conversation, but I guessed it was Ethan. After a brief chat on the balcony, she hung up in a hurry. "Gabriel, I need to go out for something, but there's only an hour until takeoff. Aren't you coming with me?" I asked calmly, though my heart sank. Mia got drunk. I'm worried something might happen to her. I need to pick her up. I'll be back soon and definitely catch the flight. Mia was her best friend. My heart turned cold at her words, and my tone stiffened. "Doesn't Mia have other friends who can help? Do you have to go?" Daphne hesitated, then quickly composed herself, kissing my cheek apologetically. Gabriel, I really don't trust leaving her alone in the bar. I promise I won't miss the flight. I'll go straight to the airport after seeing her. Just go ahead and wait for me in the boarding lounge. I watched silently as Daphne left, not stopping her. 10 minutes later, I put on my coat and followed Ethan's clues to the bar. In the noisy environment, Ethan held a cigarette, his face flushed and clearly drunk. Ignoring Daphne's protests, he insisted on pouring another drink. She snatched the glass from him worriedly, drinking every drop he poured. Daphne had always hated alcohol deeply. Her father had abused her mother when drunk, and she'd never touched a drop herself. At past gatherings, she'd coldly refused anyone who urged her to drink. Daphne, she left me. No one wants me anymore. I'll be alone forever. Ethan mumbled weakly, holding his glass, his voice laced with despair. By the end, he was sobbing softly. I read his lips to understand his words. Daphne hugged him tightly, patting his back like a child. I want you, Ethan. I'm still here. Ethan froze, his cheeks reddening under the bar's dim lights. I watched him slowly raise his hand, tilt Daphne's chin, and lean in. She seemed surprised but didn't pull away. Just then, a rapid phone ringtone shattered the ambiguous atmosphere. Daphne, the plane takes off in 30 minutes. Are you at the airport? I asked. She glanced at Ethan and replied without hesitation. Sorry, honey. I really can't leave right now. Please apologize to Annie for me. I'll change my ticket to tomorrow. Stop lying, Daphne. What? She asked, confused. Daphne, turn around, I said softly. I saw everything you were doing. She spun around sharply, her phone slipping from her hand and hitting the floor with a dull thud. Gabriel, her face showed confusion and disbelief. After a long pause, she asked, I thought you went home. Why are you here? My mom is sick, but I didn't book today's ticket, Daphne, I said. She froze, her voice suddenly accusatory. You did this on purpose. Yes, but you've never let me down when it comes to disappointing me, I retorted sarcastically. The other day, seeing her pretend to be at a class reunion with Ethan had still hurt my heart. But today, my heart was as calm as still water simply because it had ached so much that it had gone numb. As I turned to leave, Daphne seemed to realize something. She immediately stood up and grabbed me. Gabriel, it's not what you think. I can explain. Ethan just got divorced, she protested loudly. I was just comforting him. I drank too much just now. You know, I don't usually drink. I was just confused from the alcohol, she rambled on. I suddenly found it ridiculous. Daphne, let's break up, I said flatly. In the past, Daphne had always been the one to threaten breakups when she was angry. I never said those words before, fearing they would truly end things. This was the first time I'd initiated it, and as soon as the words left my mouth, I felt a sudden relief, an unprecedented lightness. Daphne's eyes widened in disbelief. I pulled my hand from her grip. Daphne, I suggest you keep some dignity for yourself. There's no need to shout like this. Quarrels in a relationship are fine. After all, they pave the way for the future. But when a relationship reaches its end, it's time to let go gracefully, leaving each other with one last shred of decency so the memories don't turn ugly. Gabriel, I don't agree to a breakup. Daphne panicked completely and chased after me, only to miss a step and fall to the ground. Ethan quickly jumped up from the bar and helped her up. Daphne, don't be so humble. He's not worth it. He doesn't deserve you. Daphne, I'm divorced now. I can marry you properly and we'll be together forever, Ethan said tenderly beside her. Watching her clutch her abdomen in pain, my heart trembled. I suppressed my pity for her and left resolutely. This time there would be no compromise. My mother's health issues were rooted in old ailments, and her condition had been deteriorating day by day, making the hospital a frequent destination. After a week of overtime at work to clear the backlog and prepare for upcoming tasks, I finally took a week off to return to my hometown and stay with her. In the hospital room, sunlight poured through the glass window, dispelling the stuffy atmosphere and adding a touch of liveliness. My mother leaned against the bed, holding a bouquet of lilies. She sniffed them repeatedly, smiling like a flower herself. This smells so good. We can't grow these back home. You said you wanted to smell lilies, so I specially picked out this new variety from the flower shop, Daphne said softly, smiling. Look at this girl. So thoughtful. Not like my clumsy son. I wonder when my silly boy will marry you. Daphne immediately lowered her head shyly. If Gabriel wants to, I'm ready anytime. Don't you know perfume lilies shouldn't be smelled up close? I snapped, interrupting them. My mom is still sick, and you brought a toxic bouquet. What's your intention? I snatched the fresh lilies from my mother's hands and stared at Daphne. Why are you here? Daphne paled. I just wanted to visit Andy. I was worried about her health. For my mother's sake, I bit back the urge to argue, fearing it would upset her and worsen her condition. Since you visited, you can leave now, I said coldly, turning to focus on wiping my mother's body and ignoring Daphne. Are you in a foul mood today? My mother glared at me. Daphne took time off to see me, and you're chasing her away. Believe it or not, I'll kick you out first. Chastised by my mother, Daphne fell silent, then began to sniffle softly. Her eyes reddened and tears welled up. Now her pitiful act only felt like an act to me. I didn't care, but her lover would, wouldn't he? When I ignored her, Daphne left, the door slamming heavily behind her. After cleaning my mother, I went to buy her food and unexpectedly found Daphne sitting on the stairs in the stairwell, staring blankly into space. This was a small county. The last bus to the airport left at 5 p.m., and she'd clearly missed it. Her phone rang continuously, but after a long hesitation, she glanced at the screen and coldly hung up. The next moment, my phone rang. Ethan's name flashed on the display. What did you hide, Daphne? Ethan's voice was a mix of anxiety and anger. Why won't she answer my calls? Daphne turned to look at me dully, her eyes empty. I said into the phone, This is County C. She's at the county hospital. Come pick her up. I hung up and tried to bypass her, but Daphne suddenly called out, Gabriel. Her eyes were red with grievance. Do you have to be like this? I was wrong last time. Isn't a week of Cold War enough? What do you want from me? I was confused. Hadn't I made myself clear that day? Did she really think this was just a temporary Cold War? I thought I made it clear. We're broken up. We have no relationship left. In just a week, she'd lost so much weight. Even with her pregnancy, her wrists looked thinner. Despite her makeup, the dark circles under her eyes were obvious. She clearly hadn't been taking care of herself. When we first met, she was a workaholic who often forgot to eat when busy. She lived carelessly, surviving on takeout, working late, and sleeping in on weekends. I loved her so much then. Seeing her like that hurt. I didn't want her to mistreat herself, so I quit my job, rented a place near her home, and took on freelance work just to take better care of her. It took 6 months to get her weight above 100 pounds, so she didn't look like she'd collapse in a strong wind. I only went back to a regular job after she was healthier. After she got pregnant, I researched every recipe, fearing she'd suffer from malnutrition. But all my efforts had been wasted in a week. I don't agree to the breakup. I never did, she insisted, grabbing my hand and pressing it to her slightly swollen abdomen. Do you really have to be so heartless? Do you want our child to be born without a father? The mention of the child sent a sharp pain through my heart. I loved the child, but I'd loved her more. At the beginning of her pregnancy, I decided that if it was a daughter, we'd name her Lily. Now, that thought felt deeply ironic. How could Ethan allow you to keep this child? I asked mockingly. This is our child, Daphne said sorrowfully. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I was wrong before. I was confused. Gabriel, I don't want to break up. I love you. Let's get back together, please. Her voice was pleading, almost desperate. The Daphne in my memory had always been proud. I'd never seen her beg like this. My heart ached at the sight. Daphne, do you think I'll always give without expecting anything in return? Is that why you keep ignoring my feelings and lying to me? I said hoarsely, I'm not a robot. I have a heart that bleeds and pains. Where there is deep love, there is deep pain. If you insist on having your ex-boyfriend's child, that's your choice. I won't shirk responsibility for the child. But between us, we can never go back. My resolve to break up was unshaken. When she hid her meetings with Ethan, she should have known this day would come. I couldn't soften my heart, couldn't regret. Do you really want to cut ties with me? Just because I was drunk and didn't reject Ethan's kiss? She stared at me, tears in her eyes. I looked back silently. Gabriel, you're too cruel, she breathed. How can you be so heartless? Ethan arrived in his car, and Daphne got in with him, heading home. The next day, as I prepared warm water to wash my mother's face, she called me softly. Gabriel, come closer. What is it, Mom? Daphne told me about you two, she said. My heart sank. I planned to wait until she was better to break the news. Mom smiled faintly. I didn't expect things to progress so fast. A shotgun wedding might draw gossip, but when do you plan to hold the ceremony? It should be soon to avoid rumors. I froze mid-wringing the towel. Daphne had only told my mother about the pregnancy, not the breakup. Your father and I have saved some money for your down payment. I heard her parents are divorced, and her mother has a new family. They might not help much. While I'm still healthy, I can help raise the baby. She spoke eagerly, as if our future was already set. Mom, I hated to crush her hopes, but the truth couldn't be hidden. Daphne and I won't get married. We've broken up. What? Her face paled in shock. You've been together 3 years. Your relationship was always good. I nodded silently. Why? Who initiated it? Me, I said quietly. Oh, how could you be so foolish? She sank back on the bed. We're not nobility, but we taught you to be responsible. Now that she's pregnant, you can't abandon her. Go get her back now. If you can't, don't bother coming home. Mom, I won't. I've decided to end it. I then told her everything, including the class reunion. She frowned, silent for a long moment. Everyone makes mistakes. Son, she regretted it later. Why not give her another chance? Her words shook my resolve. Why hadn't I tolerated this like before? I pulled out the engagement ring from my pocket, studying it under the hospital's dim light. If Daphne had accepted it earlier, would we have the happy life I'd imagined? Building a warm home together was once my deepest wish. Now, if I just reached out, it could still happen. Suddenly, I grabbed my phone and dialed Daphne. Let's get back together, I said. On the other end, she choked with relief. Gabriel, we'll never part again. I promise. I'll cut off all contact with him. After returning to City EA, I proposed for the 3rd time in front of our families. This time she didn't refuse. My mother urged us to get married quickly to avoid gossip about the unplanned pregnancy. One weekend, we got our marriage license. One afternoon, I left work early to take her to a prenatal checkup, but found an unfamiliar pair of men's shoes in the living room. In the hallway, they were locked in an embrace. I heard Daphne murmur, I'm married. We can't do this. Ethan scoffed. So what? Even if he finds out, will he dare divorce you? I know men. If they tolerate once, they'll tolerate again. Disgusting, I shouted, jolting awake in a cold sweat. The hospital corridor around me came into focus. I'd fallen asleep on a bench, dreaming the whole thing. The engagement ring had slipped from my hand, rolling to my feet with a clatter. I rushed to the restroom to splash water on my face, clinging to the reality of the moment. That dream, it was a warning from a possible future. I picked up the ring, strangely grateful she'd refused my proposal earlier. Daphne had told my mother about the pregnancy to pressure me into reconciliation through family, but my resolve was firm. Maybe I was heartless, as she said, but I wouldn't waver. Soon, she texted, Gabriel, I'll give you a week to reconsider. If you still want to break up, I'll have to marry Ethan. I deleted the message and blocked her number. The dream had numbed me to her threats. Still, a part of me wondered, would she really go through with it? What about her child? Would Ethan's family accept them? A week later, I heard they'd scheduled a lavish wedding in the city's grandest hotel. I asked a friend to check the scene. Damn, Daphne's gone, my friend shouted over a video call. The master of ceremonies called for the bride again and again, but the backstage stayed empty. Only Ethan stood on stage, bouquet in hand, looking lost. The scene instantly descended into chaos with whispers rippling through the audience. I heard the bride cried backstage for ages before bolting without a word. This is just humiliating. If she didn't want to marry him, she should have said so. Now it's a total mess. My friend on the phone sounded dazed. Should I stay for the meal or not? Daphne's so reckless. She treats relationships and marriages like child's play. On the video, Ethan lost control. He threw down the bouquet and began storming around to search for her. Guests scrambled to their feet, joining the hunt. Dressed in her wedding gown, she stood out starkly on the street, drawing stares from passers-by. Eventually, they found Daphne on the rooftop of my apartment building. My door was hammered open by a breathless Ethan. "Go talk to Daphne now. She's threatening to jump." Putting aside past grievances in the face of life and death, I raced with the crowd to the rooftop terrace. Daphne's white wedding dress was disheveled, her hair tangled and makeup streaked. She looked pitiful. At first, she sobbed quietly, but when she saw me, her emotions exploded into hysterical wailing. "Gabriel, you heartless bastard." Tears poured down her face as she screamed. "You'd really let me marry someone else. You said you'd love me forever. How can you stop loving me just like that? You liar. All men are liars. Ethan swore he loved me too, then married someone else. Now you're letting me marry him. You're both heartless." With her back to the 100-meter drop, the wind billowed her gown, making her frail figure look like it could be swept away at any moment. The sight chilled me to the bone. I raised my hands in surrender. "Daphne, calm down. Breakups happen in relationships. Don't be so extreme. As long as you're alive, there's hope. If you die, it's over." I no longer loved her, but I didn't hate her either. My feelings were more about regret for my own blind choices. "What hope? Tell me. What do I have left?" She stared at me, eyes wild. "You have Ethan?" I blurted out, scrambling for anything to diffuse the situation. "Ethan," she laughed bitterly, taking a step back. "Forget it. I brought this on myself." The guardrail was barely half a meter wide. One more step, and she'd plummet. I lunged forward, grabbing the hem of her dress. Then suddenly, her expression twisted. "I hate you, Gabriel. Come down with me." She pulled a knife from behind her back and stabbed at me. I jerked aside. The blade sliced my arm. The pain made me lose my grip, and she fell. I was rushed to the hospital. Thankfully, my reflexes had saved me. The wound was just a deep gash, but the doctor said my left arm would be immobile for a while. Later, I learned that the police had set up safety airbags below when they found Daphne. She survived the fall, but the baby didn't make it. Her body was so severely injured that she'd be confined to a wheelchair and unable to bear children for years. Hearing this, a selfish thought crossed my mind. Now, maybe we can finally end this. Yet a month later, a nurse called, saying Daphne refused all treatment until she saw me. Admittedly, her desperation had shocked me. She'd gone to such extremes to avoid breaking up, as if she couldn't live without me. But she'd never shown this kind of love before. After the last incident, I was determined to stay away no matter what. "We're broken up. Her boyfriend is Ethan. Contact him." "Not me," I said. The nurse hesitated, sounding uneasy. Just as I was about to hang up, Daphne's voice cracked through. "Gabriel." I paused. Then the nurse added, "The baby is gone." Daphne's sobs poured through the line. "Now we're even." I stayed silent as she rambled. "You probably don't know. Ethan left me. At the wedding, I heard him tell his mom he only wanted my inheritance to pay off his gambling debts. He never loved me." I was stunned. I thought Ethan's feelings were real, but it was all a lie. "You think I'm pathetic, don't you?" She wailed. "Why did this happen? I wanted a future with you." My chest tightened. "Regret comes too late," I said, and hung up. I thought a lot about why Daphne became this way. Her unhappy childhood, growing up starved of love, left her unable to understand how to give or receive affection or even a compromise. My blind devotion had only fueled her paranoia. Ethan's betrayal, of course, had shattered her view of love. In a way, she was pitiful. I don't think I'll ever love someone deeply again. After the incident, Mom was terrified, then promptly started arranging blind dates with a village girl. We met twice, but I wasn't interested. I threw myself into work instead, but the girl unexpectedly ran away to my city. One stormy night, she showed up homeless at the subway station. When the village heard, they panicked. I searched all night and found her shivering there. Her eyes filled with tears at the sight of me. "Brother Gabriel, everyone told me not to come, but I had to. I really love you. Can I stay and take care of you?" A young girl abandoning her studies to chase me. It was unthinkable. "Don't do this. Your parents must be worried sick. I can't let you stay here. I'll buy you a ticket and send you back tomorrow." She clung to my sleeve, tears in her eyes. Is it because I'm not as pretty as your ex-girlfriend? If so, I'll work to save money for plastic surgery. I have to be with you. I frowned, baffled by such an absurd notion. You have to learn to love yourself first, I said earnestly, before you can love others or be loved in return. She froze, silent for a long moment. That night, I let her stay, and the next day, I sent her home. I made up my mind. My future partner must be someone who can walk beside me, grow with me, not someone who depends on me unilaterally. I believe that one day I'll meet the person who truly shares my path.